Okay, started recording. So, Diego, welcome to Skin in the Game meetings. These
Thank
are
you.
weekly meetings we are holding to talk to startup founders and see what they are building, how they are building, and what kind of problems they are solving. Uh, and a little bit about myself. My name is Ji Singh. I was originally, from India, born and raised there. Moved to UK, studied there particle physics, statistics and programming, worked on vote leave campaign. Brexit, I was one of the member who, made sure that Brexit happened. So 10 years now, not very happy, but we are where we are. After Brexit, worked at the Daily Mail, worked the Daily Mail newspaper, worked there, and the whole back end of design is my doing. So if you are getting tabloid news in your Facebook feed, I'm the guy you should blame. And came here into New Zealand in 2019. Well, just before COVID, got stuck, couldn't go back. Worked a couple of companies in logistics, then started my own company called Artemis Freight Forwarding. It does what it does. It simplifies international trade. But we needed something that was public facing. So I am currently building an app called ButterUp.app. What it does, it gives the people over here in New Zealand a complete view of where they can find cheaper groceries. The idea of ButterUp is give people more options where they can sell and buy and see where are cheaper groceries are around their neighborhood. So that's about me a little bit. And I will give you the floor and tell us about yourself, what you're building, what kind of problems you're facing, and how can we help.
So is that me now?
That's you. The floor is yours. Take a lead. Tell us about yourself. What are you building? First of all, I like your jacket. Whatever you're wearing, it's
Oh,
very
the poncho.
technical.
It's very cold here. I think we're 3 degrees at the moment, and the heater is not helping much. Yeah. Um. Okay, so I'm originally from Colombia. I came to New Zealand 7 years ago now. Yeah, so I'm a software developer. I've been working in several companies and several industries, but I'm primarily an iOS developer. And here in New Zealand, I was mostly in management, just managing software development teams, and that's primarily what I've been doing for the entirety of my career. Worked at Genesis Energy for a couple of years, then I moved to a company called Flux Federation that is building all the building software for power companies, among those Meridian. And then I moved to a smaller startup in Auckland called Kaplan. And it was a very small team, but what I wanted was to learn everything about distribution, user acquisition, um, what metrics you should care about, customer segmentation. So all that part that actually matters a lot to founders. And I'm now on my own. I have my own company called Enso Limited. And as part of Enso, I develop an app called Peak. And the whole idea of Peak is to bring customer right management to the hands of the average user. So at the moment, if you take a look, for example, Netflix, Disney, Paramount, they spend millions of dollars every single year trying to prevent people from making illegal copies of their content and distributing it. And even though the technology exists, people are not protected by the same technology. So if you happen to send a photo of yourself to someone else or your kids or whatever, you lose control of what happens to that photo, right? So other people can download it, they can modify it, use it AI, they can redistribute it, and all of that is completely out of your control. And on top of that, if you share photos on Facebook or Instagram or any other public platform, not only these platforms can do whatever they want with your media, but if it's publicly available, then you're putting yourself and your family at risk. of predators and other people who might try to profile you. That includes scammers. So there are a lot of risks associated with sharing media, but we still want to do it. We still want to share photos with our friends, with our family, with our circle, and still be able to control what happens to that media, right? So that's where Peek comes into place. Peek has several layers of security where the baseline is end-to-end encryption. That means that once you upload a photo into Peek, it's encrypted and no one has access to it. Only you, not even me, the owner of the platform, can have access to that media. And when you decide to share it with someone, that someone has a temporary access to that file that you can revoke at any time. So you're completely in control of what happens to your photo, where it's going, who is having access to it, and redistributions is completely uh, not allowed. No one will be able to redistribute a photo. And we have a screenshots protection. So we have several layers to prevent recipients to actually make unauthorized copies of your digital media and redistribute it.
Okay. Is it end-to-end encrypted?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. Can you explain a technology? What kind of technology you're building? What's under the hood?
So under the hood, we're using SHA-256 to
Okay.
encrypt the photos. And we are also generating a unique key per photo that's generated on the client side. And that key is also encrypted.
Okay.
And once that key is encrypted, it's stored in our servers. We are using Google platforms. And these platforms are actually hosted within the European Union. So users are protected by GDPR as well. Um, Everything that contains user information is hosted within GDPR jurisdiction to protect users' data and also make sure that the third parties that we are using to provide the surveys are not going to misuse the data that we are entrusting them with.
Okay. Could you elaborate what's GDPR? We don't know.
So GDPR is a customer protection law that exists within the EU, right?
Okay.
So what happens with that data, for example, in this is standard practice when you, as a service provider, you are hosting user information. Usually you don't own the servers where that information lives. Someone else does. It
Yeah.
could be Amazon, it could be Google, it could be any other platform, right?
Yeah.
So that the user data is in first place governed by your own privacy policies and terms and conditions, but it's also governed by the privacy policies and terms of conditions of every platform that you decide to use as a provider,
Okay.
right? And on top of that, you get the laws of that specific jurisdiction. And in this specific case, the laws of the European Union, which are very, very strict in regards to protecting users' digital data, governs absolutely everything that happens in the EU. So hosting something like storing user information in the EU has different benefits and restrictions than doing it in the United States, for example. So those protections from the European Union are very critical to ensure that users' informations are protected and are going to be misused by Google or Amazon or whatever service you're using.
So no third party, even the company that owns the servers can access that.
Yeah, they can.
They can.
Of course, they can access that information, but they can access whatever I provide to them, right?
Okay.
So in regards to customer information, you as the provider need to have several layers as well of protection, right? So for example, what I'm giving them to store is an encrypted file, which is the photos, right? So even though they